We're inside one of the offices of the Dey Mansion, and Jerry is panning on a beautiful historic document of the genealogy of the Dey Mansion. And right here is Theunis Dey, Colonel Theunis. And what year was that? Okay, this was copied in 1981, the Dey family, and it traces all members of the Dey family. And we have a member of the Dey family with us. And what is your name?
Carol.
Carol, you're not a Dey?
I was a Dey.
You were-
I married, and I'm Oliver now.
Oliver.
Yes.
Tell me, what do you know about Colonel Dey?
I don't know a lot about only what I've read in the books that my family had.
Right.
And so this is my first trip here to this mansion. And this is a copy that she has, and I brought along a copy that I had.
Oh, you brought this?
No, that one was here. I have another copy I brought, and she says it's updated a lot on a lot of additional things.
Children and children's
sure,
children.
sure.
So she has more children's children than we do.
Because our family moved to Michigan, I'm thinking 18, would that be right? 1850s approximately?
I've been running around, I don't know.
Anyway,
We weren't there.
I wasn't there, so
You're
I'm not
here
sure.
from Michigan,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And yesterday you were in New York. And tell our audience what you were doing in New York.
That
Not
brought
everything, but just-
tears to my eyes just to see that. It was, we came out of the Penn Street station, and we were under the Oculus,
Yes.
the new edition thing there. And right there in front of us was Dey Street. And so we got a lot of pictures there, walked down the one block of the street and took pictures all, because it's even on the sidewalk, Dey and Broadway. Come to find out there was a family member that lived on the corner of Dey and Broadway. We didn't know that until later. But yeah, it was amazing. It was overwhelming. I was just kind of overloaded with everything we did yesterday.
Wonderful. And they're off camera. They don't want to be on camera. But you brought your son.
And my daughter and my grandson.
That's great. That's great. They can really appreciate history.
Yes.
We're standing, and what is this building called?
This is the Plantation House.
This is the Plantation House.
Right now it has become our office for the Department of Cultural and Historic Affairs.
Okay,
for Passaic
I'm going to
County.
put Maggie a little into the light here so you see her pretty little face. Maggie was a student of mine at DePaul High School many years ago. And through the years, we've kept in touch. And as a matter of fact, it was Maggie's family, her and her husband, who donated a magnificent stained glass window to our chapel at William Patterson University. So we're really honored to always be in touch with Maggie. Maggie, what is your role here at the mansion?
My role is administrative museum attendant. I have a lot of hats. I do tours, I do billing, paperwork, permits, book group tours, lectures, different things like that. I talk with descendants that come through and go over information.
And that
do some
happens a lot?
research for them. Yeah, lately it has. It's been crazy
Excellent.
here.
I think there's a great interest, once again, in our ancestry, history, American history, and going back to Europe. I mean, obviously he was from Great Britain, I presume. Or was he Dutch?
He was Dutch.
He was Dutch.
They were
okay.
Dutch.
And do you know when he came here?
We have his grandfather probably in the mid-1600s being here and being a soldier in the Dutch West Indies Company.
Wow, that's great.
And
What has this meant to you to be here and see the line of it? Are you on this
Well,
by any chance?
no.
Okay. So
We
they really
had-
have to update it.
We had our copy that they'd roll it out on the dining room table every now and then when relatives would come over, and they would go just poring over it. But I was just a child then, so I don't remember a lot of it. So anyway, I remember the tree though, because it took up the whole table and then some.
Going back to 1600s at least, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. What are some of the things people should look for when they're coming to the Dey Mansion here in Wayne, New Jersey?
coming here, a lot of people have a different reason why they come here.
Good.
One of the reasons is they're a descendant and they're looking for more information. Other people come here because of the history because of George Washington. Lately, it's been because of Alexander Hamilton. He was also here at the house. He was Washington's chief aide-de-camp.
Okay, only because you threw his name out, and we've got to focus on that. I know he's in one of the paintings behind us that's been just sitting there. He's right in the middle, George Washington. Could you tell me what was Washington's role here at the mansion?
Washington's role here, when he came here in July of 1780, he was waiting on word of when the French fleet was going to arrive. He was waiting for Rochambeau to put in his appearance. And when he did get word, he went up north, and all of a sudden, Benedict Arnold, who he earlier gave command of West Point to, turns out he worked out a little deal with John Andre, found out that he was a traitor to Washington. Washington comes back here after the trial and hanging of John Andre. He wasn't sure who on his staff was involved. Was there anyone else involved with the treason? And he planned. So he knew this house was a trusted house.
What was the gentleman's first name?
Theunis.
Theunis. How is there? What's the connection between Theunis and Washington? Did they meet somewhere?
Theunis was colonel of the Bergen County militia. This whole area back then was still part of Bergen County. We were not Passaic County until 1837. So Theunis was in charge of enlisting local citizens, wealthy landowners to form a militia that would fight alongside Washington and his enlisted army.
These are our roots as Americans, and it's fascinating to be here. Anything you'd like to share with us?
I never knew a lot about this, what she's telling either.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't, so it's
we're both learning today.
to hear this, yeah.
And you could bring this back to Midwest.
Yes, right, the Midwest. Yes.
Spread the word.
Maggie, thank you so much. And we're going to continue our tour of other buildings here and other guests. I really appreciate your being here with us. And as usual, very good student of history. One of the things I taught her was church history, so I'll test her on that later. This has been Father Louis Scurti at the Dey Mansion, or Dey Mansion, in Wayne, New Jersey. Thank you for joining us, and the continuation continues as we walk through the process of the various buildings and aspects of the militia. Keep me in touch. Let me hear from you. FrLouScurti at hotmail.com.